For decades, addiction was viewed through the lens of character. Early psychoanalysts like Sigmund Freud described it as filling a void of missing pleasure, while others saw it as a sign of spiritual emptiness. That historical framing helped cement a myth that persists today: the idea that addiction is a moral weakness that can be defeated by sheer willpower. This mindset often restricts those seeking help to a single, uncompromising ultimatum: stop completely right now, or you aren't ready for recovery. When people struggle with that absolute standard and experience a slip, the response is often punitive. They are told they simply aren't trying hard enough. Framing recovery as a pass-or-fail test of moral strength builds a wall of shame. It leaves millions of people afraid to even enter therapy because the cost of imperfection is total rejection. Scientific evidence contradicts that moral judgment. Addiction involves a physical reorganization of the brain's reward centers. This cellular change cannot be undone by willpower. While initial substance use may involve a choice, late-stage addiction is defined by compulsion. The brain's regulatory systems fail, and the behavior becomes involuntary. This is why clinical science now uses the term biopsychosocial disease. It is a chronic condition that intertwines biology, psychology, and social environment, affecting both the individual and their entire family. This graphic shows the necessary update to our understanding. By crossing out the concepts of willpower and conscious choice, we are left with the reality of a biopsychosocial disease. Because the roots of the disease are biological and social, the treatment strategy must address those specific layers. Moral judgments do not heal neural pathways. Targeted, multidimensional strategies do. Modern recovery typically relies on two main frameworks. The first is the traditional medical model. This approach views addiction as a progressive disease, where the only safe baseline is immediate and absolute abstinence. This matrix outlines the model. The primary goal is 100% abstinence, an unambiguous metric for daily progress. Success requires an identity shift, admitting powerlessness over the substance. A major trade-off is handling setbacks. Relapse is categorized as a failure, risking program discharge. While absolute boundaries offer safety, the strictness carries a risk. Patients who stumble often feel they ruined their progress, leading them to abandon treatment entirely. The alternative is the psychosocial or harm reduction model. This approach focuses on the individual's environment rather than just the substance. On the right, the primary goal is improving quality of life through holistic improvements, without demanding total sobriety. Practitioners treat substance use as a secondary coping mechanism for underlying trauma. Because recovery takes time, relapse is viewed as an expected element of healing. This trade-off impacts the support network. The lack of definitive milestones frustrates families seeking a quick, permanent end to the crisis. This model prioritizes keeping the patient engaged in therapy above all else. Success requires the support network to maintain a high tolerance for ongoing risk. These harm reduction principles translate directly into macro-level public health strategies. Managing substance use as a community health issue has long roots. People have organized interventions for decades to manage the immediate impact of the disease. The objective of these public health programs is pragmatic. They focus on minimizing societal harm and keeping users alive today, hoping to reach them tomorrow. In practice, this involves distributing clean medical supplies to prevent disease, providing safe spaces, and managing methadone programs. Street outreach workers build trust by providing education without judgment. This connection serves as a bridge, linking people to intensive treatment when they are ready. These programs are often accused of enabling use. However, the data shows they reduce fatal outcomes. As harm reduction pioneer Alex Wodak noted, partial safety provides a higher survival rate than a total lack of intervention. The data shows these two models function as complementary tools on a broad spectrum of care. This flowchart uses patient readiness to map the right path. The medical model fits someone who thrives on strict rules. The psychosocial model suits someone who has struggled with rigid programs. This isn't a one-time decision. Patients move between models as needs evolve. Effective recovery matches the strategy to the patient's current capacity. It requires an approach that adapts as the individual situation changes. Letting a patient choose their own treatment strategy provides a significant psychological advantage. Research bears this out.
1/3 of people who achieve continuous abstinence actually began their journey in a flexible harm reduction program. Making a choice restores a sense of agency. It replaces the shame of an imposed mandate with personal responsibility and a sense of control over the process. Deciding on a path means weighing the rigid safety of abstinence against the persistent engagement of harm reduction. The specific therapeutic model chosen matters less than stepping onto the continuum itself. Empowering the individual to choose creates the momentum necessary for lasting recovery.